Hi, I'm Dan Rademacher,
And I'm Tamara Schwartz.
and this is our house in Temescal District in Oakland. We've lived here since 2002. When we moved into the neighborhood, it was a one-bedroom house and for sale by owner, and there were a few different elements like that that made it a place that we could afford to buy back then. So this spring, we installed a heat pump HVAC system and also a water heater. And the heat pump, we've got the controller over here in our dining room, and it's a Fujitsu. Honestly, I forget some of the details, but it's been a really nice system. We replaced a gas furnace, and we did that work with Eco Performance Builder, and they came and they measured everything, and they sealed up the door and did the fan test and things like that. And during the process, we did make a few compromises. There were some, like we could have moved some of our heat vents for super optimal efficiency, but we have a really small house and decided to leave some of them in the same place that they were, and it's worked just fine for us since then.
We remodeled the kitchen in 2010, and we tried to select as many sustainable materials as we could. So several of the choices we made include the flooring, which is Marmoleum, which is a product that's made from linseed oil and sawdust. We also used Paperstone for our counters, and then the tile is from a company called Fireclay, and those tiles were made from recycled porcelain fixtures like old sinks and toilets. And then the other things that we did in the kitchen include LED lighting and lots of woodwork by Dan.
Yeah, so I built all these cabinets. I used to work as a cabinet maker, and I make most of our furniture, or basically all of our furniture and cabinets. And so this stuff is all FSC-certified wood, and then custom cabinetry throughout, certainly built to last. And this piece of granite we got out of a neighbor's front yard. It had been abandoned from some unknown project, so we built a little island around that found object. You might notice we're into reuse of anything we can. This is a drying rack. We wash and reuse all our plastic bags. We also have recycled denim insulation in the attic above the kitchen. In our bathroom, we've got a High Sierra low flow shower head that's like 1.5 gallons per minute. We've had that for probably close to 20 years. I'm a huge fan. They never clog. They work really well. So we added this bedroom way back in 2007, and when we did that, I wanted to do as much custom woodworking as I could, and for the flooring, we did a compressed bamboo flooring that's like pre-finished and really durable, and we think really beautiful. And then this closet I built is made partly of urban reclaimed eucalyptus, so blue gum eucalyptus trees like you see in the Oakland Hills. Some folks in Richmond at that time were making it into flooring. And I was able to repurpose that for the panels of these cabinets. I made some nightstands out of some leftover Douglas fir that was in a cabinet shop where I worked. There were just scraps of wood here and there, and I was able to collect enough of them to make a couple of nightstands.
Welcome to our backyard. The back garden is planted with a mixture of California natives and other drought-tolerant plants, as well as food-bearing plants. And that includes things like our blueberry patch over here, along around the back of the house here are a number of native plants. And then we have several trees and other interesting things behind me. And then we're going to show you the exterior portion of the heat pump systems around the side of the house.
So this is where we were able to put the exterior units of both the water heater, the sand and water heater, and the Fujitsu HVAC system. And we were lucky. There was some debate over whether the city of Oakland would allow it in this space that's near our property line, but obviously it's also a space that we can't really do anything with. So it was approved, and that was great. So the Sandin unit here we chose because I mean, they told us it was the most eco-groovy, and it uses CO2 for its refrigerant, and there's a tank inside that this is connected to. And we also discovered that so we had the hot water heater was really what drove this whole recent project with the heat pump systems. We had a 30-year-old hot water heater. It was starting to rattle around with sounds from minerals that were built up into it. It wasn't properly vented. There were a lot of problems with it, and we figured at some point it was just going to break. And if we didn't act, ahead of time, we'd be stuck with whatever was available at a local plumber. So instead, we planned ahead and got this Sandin unit, and we've been really happy with it. And it's also super efficient. And then the HVAC system here, I don't know if you can hear, but they're very quiet. Our bedroom is right here, and we don't hear them at all. In fact, our old furnace, we used to carefully set the timer just so it would start like 5 minutes before we woke up, because it always woke us up. And we were so used to, like, if the furnace is on, we can't sleep. And this new unit is just whisper quiet. We can never hear anything. So we actually had to get used to that. Like, oh, we can just have the thing running whenever we need to for comfort and not worry about it waking us up. In the summer, it'll also do cooling, work as an air conditioner. The ducting and venting system is much better sealed and tighter than our old forced air gas system, and it's got a particulate filter that's kind of sealed onto the cold air return inside our dining room. So we're not exactly looking forward to fire season, whoever does, but we feel like we'll be a lot more comfortable if we need to keep the windows closed for a week or something like that in the coming years. So this is the electrical system of the house, and back in 2013 we got solar put on. We did a lease through Sungevity, that was an Oakland-based company at the time. That lease has run out, and now we own the panels as of, I think, sometime last year. And that's a 1 kilowatt system, so it's not very big, but our house is less than 1,000 square feet. So before, we also got an electric car, and here's our electric car charger. Before the electric car and before the recent HVAC and water heater electrification, we were generating more power than we needed with this system. We'll see in the coming year how that plays out. Something we might do in the future is add more solar capacity to the house. When we did get the electric water heater and HVAC system, the first folks we talked to thought we were going to need to upgrade our panel. It's a pretty small, it's a 100 amp service. It's pretty jammed with circuits. But it turns out we were able to accommodate. They did some more careful load analysis, and I think we talked to a couple different electricians. And I've got a wood shop that's running 220. We've got a sub panel for the kitchen. There's a lot of reasons someone might walk up to our house and say you definitely have to upgrade. That was going to be, I don't know, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 and more trouble with PG&E. So we were excited to get more opinions and a solution that didn't require that. One simple thing we've done is just have a clothesline and use it. So this is a clothesline that extends maybe 28 feet into our to the end of our garage, and we can put a load of laundry up here and just use the sun to dry our clothes, and that couldn't get more efficient than that.
So this is our compost bin, and we have been composting at home the entire time we've lived here, and composting is something that we do in a really pretty easy, low maintenance way. We put our food scraps and our, any clippings and green matter from the garden in this bin, and then we turn it once in a while, and that might be a couple times a year. So we then are creating compost that we can use in the garden, and we're keeping all of that compostable material out of landfills, and it helps improve the health of our soil. It helps with carbon sequestration in soil, and it's a pretty nice sort of closed loop system.
Yeah, and I think sometimes there's a discussion that happens between personal decisions that we make or consumer decisions. It's often posited as in political action or policy action, and I think that it's for us it's a both and situation that we want to take those actions politically and professionally in our work and in our political action that we think will achieve the outcomes that we all want, but also to live that way personally and in our home and in this place that we've lived now for 20 years.
So we've done a lot of these projects, and and made choices, some of which are really small things, and some of them are bigger things. And over the years, it kind of it adds up, and I think that is sort of satisfying to think about that cumulative impact, and the fact that we're doing we're sort of doing the best that we can to make choices that keep our home as efficient and low impact as possible.